Today, we're diving into a hidden war. It's not fought with tanks or spies, but with algorithms and data. And it's happening right inside your car insurance policy. This isn't some far-off sci-fi concept. It's a full-blown tech arms race, and it's already having a big impact on your wallet. So, let me ask you something straight up. Did you pay a fraud tax on your car insurance this year? The answer is almost certainly yes, and you probably had no idea. See, it's this hidden cost that gets passed on to every single one of us who's an honest driver. And today, we're going to break down exactly what it is and why it's there. So, where does this fraud tax even come from? Well, it all starts with a huge, and I mean billion-euro blind spot that's been a massive headache for the insurance industry for decades. Get this. Industry experts estimate that a staggering 10%, 1 out of every 10 euros paid out for car insurance claims, is likely fraudulent. Now, let's be super clear here. This isn't just a few bad apples trying to get away with something. It's a huge, systemic problem baked into the industry. And what does that 10% actually look like in cold, hard cash? Well, we're talking about an estimated 13 billion euros. Just gone. Wasted. Every single year, just across Europe. That's a mind-boggling amount of money that the system, and by that I mean us, has to somehow absorb. And here's the part that really matters to you and me. Insurers don't just, eat that cost. Oh no, it gets passed directly on to us in the form of higher premiums. For folks in the UK, that's about an extra £50 on every single policy. That right there, that's the fraud tax, showing up on your annual bill. But here's the thing. This isn't a problem that's standing still. In fact, it's getting way more complicated. Because while insurers are trying to play catch-up, the fraudsters, they've been busy giving their whole operation a serious digital upgrade. You've got your classic old-school scams we've all heard about, right? Staged fender benders, maybe padding a real claim with some old damage. But now we're seeing a whole new wave of high-tech deception. We're talking AI-generated photos of damage that never even happened, deep-fake videos of fake accidents, and even these things called fraud-as-a-service kits you can just buy online. And this quote from an industry insider, man, it just hits the nail on the head. It used to be you had to be a pretty bold criminal to orchestrate a physical accident. Now, anyone with a laptop can sit in their room and cook up a pretty convincing fake claim. The barrier to entry for this stuff has basically vanished. And this just goes to show how organized the whole thing has become. We're not just talking about one person trying their luck anymore. We're seeing huge, organized crash-for-cash rings staging accident after accident. And the whole fraud-as-a-service thing is wild. Criminal groups are literally selling ready-made kits with fake invoices and repair bills on platforms like Snapchat. So, with fraudsters getting so sophisticated, how in the world are insurers supposed to fight back? Well, it turns out they're fighting fire with fire by rolling out their own seriously powerful arsenal of artificial intelligence. All right, first up in this AI arsenal is something called computer vision. Just think of it like a digital Sherlock Holmes for photos. It can scan pictures from a claim in seconds. And yeah, it identifies every dent and scratch. But its real superpower is spotting things a human might totally miss, like damage that just doesn't line up with the accident report, or the tiny little digital clues left behind when an image has been photoshopped. Next up, we have natural language processing, or NLP. This AI is basically a lie detector for the written word. It's not looking at photos, it's reading the actual claim report, analyzing how it's written. It's been trained on millions of past claims, so it can pick up on weirdly vague language or descriptions that sound way too generic. Stuff that just doesn't sound like a real person telling a true story. And what about taking down those big, organized crime rings? For that, insurers are using social network analysis. This is the AI version of that classic detective's corkboard you see in movies, with all the photos and strings connecting the dots. The AI can instantly map out hidden connections across thousands of claims, spotting when the same phone number, the same lawyer, or the same mechanic keeps popping up in shady-looking cases. It's pretty amazing. So when you put it all together, you've got this three-pronged attack. Computer vision is there to fight the fake damage. NLP flags the fishy stories, and social network analysis helps dismantle the entire criminal network behind them. Each tool has a very specific job in solving this giant fraud puzzle. Okay, but what does all this tech actually look like when a regular person, like you, needs to make a claim? Let's take a peek inside an AI-powered damage assessment to see just how ridiculously fast and effective this tech really is. The process for the customer is actually super simple. After an accident, you just open up an app and upload a few photos of your car, and that's it. Instantly, the AI kicks in. It identifies every single damaged part, figures out if it needs a repair or a full replacement, and then it calculates a complete itemized cost estimate. And this is the kind of thing it spits out. It's not just some random number. It's a detailed breakdown of every part, what needs to be done, and the exact cost for both parts and labor, all customized to your local area. I mean, that level of detail and transparency almost instantly, it's a huge leap forward.
And right here, this is probably the single biggest win for honest customers. The old way of doing things with endless phone calls, paperwork, and waiting for an assessor, that could take 1 or 2 weeks. With AI, we're talking about 5 to 10 minutes. That shift from weeks to minutes is an absolute game changer for getting people their money and getting them back on the road.
And hey, this isn't just theory. The results in the real world are pretty staggering. Insurers like Unicwa have saved $21 million from fraud in just a couple of years. AXA in Switzerland blocked $12 million in bogus payouts before a single cent went out the door. Human investigators are suddenly 4 times more productive. And most importantly, legitimate claims are getting paid out way, way faster. So with all this incredible AI, you'd think the problem is solved, right? Well, not quite. In fact, we might be entering an even trickier phase of this technological cat-and-mouse game. Which brings us to the big, looming question for the future of all this. As insurers build better defensive AI, the fraudsters are using their own offensive AI to create even more believable fakes. So who actually wins this escalating arms race in the end? See, the next frontier isn't just about building smarter tech. It's about building trust. For any of this to work in the long run, insurers have to navigate a total minefield of new challenges. They've got to make sure their AI isn't biased, they have to be able to explain why the AI made a certain decision, and they have to follow complex new laws like the EU's AI Act. But above all, they have to prove to all of us that this tech is on our side, that it's working for honest customers, not against that. Because really, at the end of the day, the goal isn't just to catch more bad guys. It's to build an AI system that's so transparent and so fair that it actually earns our confidence. To create an insurance process that's faster, cheaper, and more reliable for everyone. The billion-dollar question is, can they actually pull it off?